Hey there, Rub-a-Dub subs, it's Blackmetal Werewolf making a brand new video for this week. So I'm sure most of you are playing Pokemon Go right now, and unfortunately I can't until it's officially released in Canada. But, and who the hell knows when that's going to be. But until Pokemon Go comes out, I've been killing my time with another app game. And that game is Iron Maiden Legacy of the Beast. It came out on July 5th, and it's by Roadhouse Interactive. It's for Android and iOS, so if you're an Apple fan or not, you can download it, and it's free, so that's another big boost right there. So I just finished playing through it, and I thought I would kind of do a review of it. I'm not much of a reviewer, but I'll give you guys my thoughts and opinions on it anyway. So let's start with the story. The story is pretty basic. There isn't, it's not like, don't go into it expecting Shakespeare, you know? It's essentially Eddie gets his soul stolen and shattered across dimensions and time and space, and then him, with the help of the clairvoyant, go out to reclaim his soul and find out who is behind it, whatever dark force is behind stealing his soul. So it's, I didn't expect much going into the story-wise because, it's just an app game. It's not like Uncharted or something where they have like a team of fucking writers making this, right? So I'm glad that they kept it relatively basic. I didn't want, to be bogged down with a bunch of dialogue and a bunch of boring shit that no one cares about. I want an Iron Maiden game, and I don't want all these ridiculous notions and side plots and subplots and all this. So the story is basic, but that is definitely not a bad thing. The game is full of Iron Maiden references, so if you are an Iron Maiden fan, you will get all these references, and you will smile, and you will chuckle at them, and, that's for me, that's a really big thumbs up, right? You can't really complain about the developers taking the time to license all this and then taking the time and effort to put all these references in to make the fans happy. It was a big fan service seeing all the references throughout the game. Another really big thumbs up to it would be the music. Once again, chocked full of Iron Maiden music. As soon as I downloaded the game and booted it up on my phone, it automatically started playing The Evil That Men Do. And even though the first day took quite some time for the game to load, probably because the servers were overloaded, but since it took so long to load, at first it kind of pissed me off, but then it was like, okay, it's taking a long time to load, but at least they're giving me a lot of really good music to listen to. Like, I can't complain about that, because some games, you turn it on, it's like a black screen just says loading on it. Whereas this, it had a really beautiful picture of Eddie fighting the devil with Iron Maiden music, and instead of just having like the word loading and a loading bar, they had like all these references to Iron Maiden. Like, instead of saying loading, it said fearing the dark, or running to the hills, or oiling the jaw, reincarnating Benjamin. And it would just switch between all these little names instead of just having, a boring loading screen with just the word loading on it. So it was nice that they did that. So it had really good music, a pretty basic story. Once I finally started playing it, I went to the main screen, and there are 4 main levels, and there's another one blacked out that says coming soon. So they are going to be adding to it. I don't know if they're going to be adding much more afterwards, but they might not. We'll see when. I'm sure if you follow them on Facebook, they'll give more updates about it. And all the levels are related to Iron Maiden. The first level is all about the Wicker Man. The second level is about Power Slave. Third one is a Matter of Life and Death, and third one is Number of the Beast. And the fourth one is still blacked out. I'm not sure what that's in reference to yet, but when it comes out, I'll play it, and I'll let you guys know. So, when it comes to the graphics are really good for an app game. Like, by no means is it, like, the most beautiful things you'd get on, like, a high-end PC or a PS4 or an Xbox One, but for an Android or an Apple phone, it's good. I can't complain about the graphics. It looked good, it felt good, it ran relatively smoothly, so there wasn't like a bunch of jittering and glitches and stuttering and all that, so that's really good. There's no voice acting in it, it's all just text on the screen when all the characters are talking. So now that I got like all the really good things, the graphics, the music, the references out of the way, I'm going to unfortunately have to talk about the main bad thing, which is the gameplay is pretty damn boring. That's the thing. Like, it's like old school turn-based JRPG action. But like the thing is, I don't have an issue with JRPGs. In some games do like the whole turn-based action thing really well, but this game, it's just really boring. It's like, okay, tap to attack. Like, they try to do something else by like, oh, okay, you're attacking your enemy, now tap your screen at a specific time to do more damage. I guess it's trying to make you pay more attention to the game, so if you pay more attention to it, you just tap it again, you get more damage, right? But like, just putting a quick time event in a turn-based game isn't like some big innovation. It's still just basic turn-based comment. Attack, attack, pick a different enemy, attack, pick a different enemy, attack, pick another one of your allies, attack. So when it comes down to it, the gameplay was really boring. I was kind of hoping that like there'd be a bit more exploration in it, because like when I was following them on Facebook, they were talking about how like they really crafted each level to really fit Iron Maiden. Like, okay, I'm not expecting to be some like gigantic open world game, but really all it is battle, story mission, like story, not even a story mission, just a story cutscene, I guess. Battle, that stage is done, move on to the next one. So like each level has a bunch of different stages to it, and then each stage has one or more fights plus little story segments, right, to keep the thing progressing, keep the story progressing, so you don't get bored with it, or try not to get bored with it. So overall, the gameplay is kind of boring, unless like you're really a big fan of JRPG turn-based action. Then, you know, if you're a really big fan of that, then you'll probably like it. I'm kind of a moderate fan of it. I'm usually just into regular hack and slash action games, but this did eventually get boring after a while. And unfortunately, the whole Iron Maiden game thing, the novelty did wear out relatively quickly, because the gameplay is just so boring. At first, I was like, yeah, finally, an Iron Maiden game. I get to play an Iron Maiden game. To, all right, I get it. It's an Iron Maiden game. I'm playing as Eddie. Tap, 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 tap. It did eventually run thin. It got boring. However, there is a bunch of replay value to it if you so choose to replay it. For every big level that you finish, it unlocks the harder difficulty to it, so you can go back and play through it as a harder difficulty. Also, every fight has little achievements in it. So it's like one of them is like beat the level with half your health, don't use any special attacks, and make it with both your allies still alive. Like, okay, it's a little thing to replay it, and if you achieve each goal in each stage in each level, it unlocks a secret stage in each level, and by doing that, you can unlock different shit and all that. So if you're really dedicated to the game, there is a lot of content, which is pretty cool. Since it is just a regular app game, it has a surprising amount of content. So if you're into that style of game, it's free, and you're getting more than you're bargaining. Like, you got it for free, and you're getting a shit ton out of it. So you really can't complain about that. Another thing that kind of sucks is that the game does have microtransactions. By no means do you need to buy the microtransactions to play the game, but I'm not a fan of microtransaction in any game, period. I understand they're giving me this game for free and they want to make money off of it, but I don't like the concept of it at all. But thankfully, you don't need to actually do these things, like to buy this shit to play the game. Thank God, because if you actually had like, oh, leveling up is so ridiculously hard that you need to buy levels, then I would have fucking deleted this like the day after I got it. I'd be like, fuck this, I'm not playing some impossible game just so I have to pay to play, right? Fuck that, I'm not doing that. Another thing that's really good about it is there are relatively few glitches. The first day that I downloaded it on launch day. The game crashed on me 4 times, but I think the only reason it did that is because of server issues, because so many people were downloading it. After, like, I downloaded it while I was on my lunch break at work, and then by the time I got home, like 4 or 5 hours later, the game had already had like 100,000 downloads. So a shit ton of people were playing it, so it probably just made the servers crash a bunch. But past the first day, the game hasn't crashed on me at all, which is really good. There is one glitch, at least I think it's a glitch, or some really shitty game mechanic, is that when you're fighting, you can have like 2 allies fighting with you as Eddie, which is really cool. But at the end of every fight, it would say like, oh, your allies have leveled up. And then when I'd go into the next fight, my allies didn't level up. Like, I'd fight at them as a level 5, and then at the end of the stage, like, oh, level up, now they're level 12. But then at the end of the next fight, it would say, oh, level 5, now they're level 12. So are they leveling up or not? I don't understand what the hell is going on here. Do I have to go somewhere extra to level them up specifically, or is it doing it on its own? I think it's a glitch. If not, I have no idea how the fuck up to level up my allies or anything. But thankfully, I was still able to play through the game with relative ease. So that's pretty much my overall impression of the game. It is really cool to finally play an Iron Maiden game, but the novelty does wear off with bogged down gameplay. It really reminds me of the game South Park: The Stick of Truth. Once again, a JRPG game that's riding on the back of a pretty popular series. Like this, it's a popular RPG riding off of a popular, riding on a popular band. But South Park, the comedy and everything kept the novelty of a South Park game throughout the entire game. Whereas this, you know, just naming a level after an Iron Maiden song, you know, the novelty doesn't really keep up with it afterwards. It doesn't stay strong throughout the entire game. It's just, okay, cool, blah, 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 I'm done, whatever. So, if you're not an Iron Maiden fan, obviously don't download it. If you're not a JRPG fan, I would not suggest downloading it because you won't like the gameplay at all. But if you do like those two things, it's worth a download. Personally, I will not be playing through it a second time. I played through it once, I got through the novelty of it, I had fun with it, but it's not something I want to go through and play through all the harder difficulties to unlock every little thing. It was fun while it lasted, but honestly I can't imagine really keeping it on my phone much longer because I already played through it. So on a scale of 10 out of 10, you know, I'd give it a 5. It's by no means a terrible game, but it got boring after a while. So 5 out of 10. So, like my last videos, I either do an album recommendation or album warning, and today I'm happy to do a recommendation from a band I literally found out about last night. I was at the mall yesterday, and this really cool album was there, and I had to pick it up because it was so badass looking. The band is Cauldron, and the album is In Ruin. Now, just looking at the cover, it really reminded me of like old school 80s albums. And it really made me question, like, how the fuck, like, this looks so 80s, like from like 1985 or something. How the fuck did I have never heard of this band Cauldron before? How did this completely go under my radar? Well, I bought it anyway, and I brought it home, and I listened to it this morning on my way to work. And you know what? It's fucking awesome. It's really cool. It really has the spirit of 80s in it to me. And so I was, like I said, like, I've never fucking heard of these guys before. And I looked it up online on one of my breaks, and you know what? It's actually a band from Toronto, Ontario, Canada that formed in 2006. And like, it was really cool knowing that this band from Canada was formed in 2006 and it still held the spirit of like 80s metal. So I thought it was really cool. So definitely check out the band Cauldron, the album In Ruin, and check out their past albums because I want to be doing the same thing. So that's it for today's video. If you like what you saw, don't forget to like and subscribe, and check out my past videos as well. Of course, don't forget to leave me a comment in the comment section letting me know what your opinions are on today's video. If you want to keep up with me on a more daily basis, you can follow me on Instagram, and I'll be putting that in the description section as I always do. Once again, guys, thank you very much for watching, and stay brutal.